Hey, Jack King here. We're inside of a pretty nice home here in Phoenix, and we're going to be working down in a basement. The homeowner had a contractor put some self-leveler down in a bedroom, and boy did it get away from them. They put about 4 bags down in a small bedroom, and in some places the elevation change is about 1 inch and about 6 inches. It's really bad. And this is kind of why I try to point out to people when they're doing leveler, it's really an expensive product to try to put down, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can it can get away from you really fast. So let me see if I can show you some examples. Like everyone says that leveler, just dump it down and it's self-leveling. I'm going to pull my chapstick out of my pocket here if I can, to kind of give you an idea of the perspective of what's happening. So that chapstick is about a 1/2 inch tall. It sits over here. This hump here is taller than that chapstick, and it changes elevation just in about 5 inches. You can see all the other blobs and stuff that were done through here. Over here is an enormous hump. Let's see if I can find it. So you can see, if I do this here, this is rocking about 1.5 inches. So all the leveler somehow got pulled up into the middle, comes along over here. Once again, here's my finger, for example. You can see all the big giant knots of leveler. Now this leveler is going to be about 3 times harder to grind than normal concrete. So to make matters worse, it's down in the basement, and they live in here. So we're going to have to bring a vacuum hose down through the top, up through here, and grind and pull the vacuum, the dust up to the top. But by doing that, we're going to be able to keep the inside of this house absolutely clean. There will be no dust as we remove this, but it's going to take all day long to do this. Here, it gives you a little bit of perspective there. Take my chapstick over here. So there's my chapstick sitting under there. You could fit 2 chapsticks under there if you wanted to. So it changes elevation about 1 inch and about 3 feet all the way along there. So it's probably going to cost somewhere between $1,500 and $1,800 to grind this out of here and to fix it. So this is my point. When you're dealing with leveler, you have to really understand what you're doing. Leveler, self-leveling leveler is not normally self-leveling like everyone makes it sound like. If you pour it out and you pour it on a hump, it will not pour off the hump. It'll just make a bigger hump. So you'd have to pump this in a rapid hurry, probably with a pumping machine, in order to try to achieve any kind of self-leveling. But when you do that, you completely ruin all the transitional heights. So when we come back in through here and grind this, we're going to grind this flat, but we'll grind it flat in relationship to where they're tying onto this tile right here, because they're going to put a laminate floor down. So this is what we're starting with right now. Crazy. We've almost got the initial grinding down in here, ground off all the high spots, but there's still a spot in the closet we're going to do, and I want you to show you, we're going to grind inside this closet with all of these clothes with this big giant machine. Go for it. Yeah. what we're famous for, is doing this kind of stuff inside of the house.
Yeah. So some of this is still the...
Oh yeah, this is all low. This is going to probably take 3 or 4 bags, 5 bags of leveler still.
Crappy job when they poured it.
Well, yeah, and not only that, there was high spots in the concrete that should have been removed first before the leveler put down. Like all this over here was all high.
Yeah.
So we're taking that down.
Weird.
Yeah.
Sorry about all the dust. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The rest, I'm sure the rest of these floors are like pretty nice. This is one room.
So we're getting ready to put down the first coat of Primer L. And while the concrete itself that is exposed through the leveler where we had to grind, it is probably some of the softest concrete we've run across lately. Just to barely hit the top of it, I don't know if it's going to focus very good, but it just tears the top layer of the concrete off. So we even had to switch blades and go into a much, much finer blade just to keep from ruining that. But this primer is going to go down into that concrete, and it's going to make that crust a lot harder, so that when we apply leveler, the structure of the floor has some integrity to actually hold the leveler into place. Otherwise, the leveler would just probably peel off the floor in those places.
Sorry about that.
But we like the music, it sounded good. See how fast that drinks that up? So we're going to let this dry a little bit, and then we'll come back with another coat. And the second coat will go considerably farther. We won't have to put as much down. But right now it's just really drinking it up. And even into the leveler where we ground, because we ground into the top part of the leveler, we scratched it up pretty good. So the primer even goes down into there. And besides, you would want to put primer down anyway over top of the leveler. It's been too many days since it's been poured, and the new leveler would not bond to it without this primer. So we've done all of this floor preparation inside of this lived-in house with clothes in the closets without one piece of plastic anywhere. And we haven't made any dust in these people's homes. So this is what we are known for. We are known for the ultra clean, ultra flat type of flooring, subfloor flattening. We specialize in doing this inside of lived-in occupied homes. So if you have health issues, allergies, or if you just really want to work with a professional that knows what they're doing and will do the job the right first time, I think our services are a fit for you. So here we are doing another second coat. In a little bit we'll be off for lunch, and when we come back we'll be able to start set our screeds back up again and start pouring leveler. As you can see, those really dark blue spots there are the actual elevation of grade that we ground the concrete to the proper height. And so all these other places that you see in around here, the other blue places, those were also ground down. But surrounding them is the old leveler. So this just shows that you can't just dump leveler down onto the floor over the top of a hump and expect it to, miraculously flow away from that hump. It's more like pancake batter. And you have to know how to work with this stuff, or else you can really get into an expensive mistake, such like this contractor did. This is 2 loads, 2 bags right here.
We'll put it on the floor way over there.
Jonathan. It's okay with you, Marty. I'm just going to let you do this in here. Jonathan doesn't have to be here right now. So nice that's going down here. We were able to grind it pretty close in the beginning, but towards the middle they had not poured enough level there to begin with, and so it's going to start getting deeper and deeper. See, right over here in that part right here, he's actually dragging the very, very top of the elevation. Now it's going to start going into a low spot. Sweet. So once this platform dries right here, then we'll have a flat platform where we can finish edging through here and then go into the closet. This will be very, very flat when it gets done. So this is obviously the edging process. Because we were able to get the screeds so close to all the walls, we can come back with this 18-inch trowel and float in the edges this way. On some of our larger edging jobs, we actually come back with like an 8-foot straight edge, and we might be edging 2 feet or more at that point instead of just, 8 inches like what we're doing here. Now in a minute he'll be in this closet, and that'll all be probably handwork as well. The cool thing about this leveler is we only put this leveler down maybe 35, 40 minutes ago, and we're already walking on it. So this is a rapid set leveler. And this is what we use for our products, is the Mapei Ultraplan 1 Plus. It is rapid set. Homeowners, do not play around with this stuff unless you know how to use it. And even installers and do-it-yourselfers. You have to understand how this stuff works. As you can see from when we got here, the contractor had got away from them, and you can see the results. Very expensive to repair. So not only did they lose the money for putting the leveler down that first time, they had to pay us to come back out and grind a considerable amount of it off. So in about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, we'll be able to come back around the edges with the trowel and scrape off the runs and the drips. Give it a final vacuum, and this floor will be ready for laminate. This is what they're going to be putting back in here. However, it would be flat enough for a glue down wood floor as well. So that have to be part cement finisher as well. And you need little ridges that he leaves behind in about a half hour. We'll be able to come back and take those little ridges out of there. Okay, so it's the end of the day. This turned out to be about a 10-hour day doing this all. So at the end of the day, we had 6 hours of grinding with the large grinder, an hour grinding with the small grinder. And by the way, that's not continuous grinding. That's the setup of all the vacuums, the equipment, setting up the screeds so we know how to, where to grind. So basically, it's 6 hours of the process of grinding with the big grinder and about an hour of the small. Then we had 3 bags of leveler that went back down over the stuff that was left over from the previous contractor's pour, and then 2 gallons of primer. So turned out really super flat. They're going to put a laminate floor in here. And it's just going to be super sweet. So that's a little of the process of what we do. And of course, we did this all without any plastic. All the grinding, everything that we did required no plastic at all. And we left the house as cleaner than we got here. Okay, everybody. Thanks for listening.